Oh my God.
The biggest challenge was getting WWE to approve it. I went straight to Vince and I said, hey, Vince, there's this opportunity for me to act on the show.
Okay, this is the part people don't think about. He could have very easily made a deal with the UFC, cherry-picked an opponent that he could have done that. And
So wait.
But the physical transformation that took place on TV over a 6-month timeline, you went from a bigger guy with a big gut to like you look like the pinnacle of a male gladiator if they had anabolics back in the day.
When I became WWE Champion, no celebration, no party. We went out for dinner and I ate fish and rice. And then the next day I had to defend the title for the first time.
Listen, I know what most people are thinking. They're like, fuck that. Like, I might as well just enjoy sucking at it. I don't think there's anything that will destroy your mind and confidence faster than the 24/7 awareness of constantly knowing that you're one expected bill away from a full-blown crisis. If you could have a match in the biggest arena or biggest stadium in India with one person, it didn't have to be an Indian wrestler, it could be any wrestler that is still actively wrestling in some capacity, who would it be? All right, there's really no right or wrong way to take this, Eric. I mean, Raj, I definitely take your watch off, man. It's an expensive watch.
Good point.
So, Eric, this is a consequence. You wanted the smoke, you got it, you lost. And like a man, you are doing what you're supposed to. You're honoring your word. And we'll get into all of that momentarily. But guys, what's happening right now, for those of you who are listening to this, Eric, go ahead and take your shirt off.
Take it off.
Eric V., who's the logistics manager at Nutrition Solutions, lost a bet. He challenged the old man. He thought he could beat me in a push-up contest. He thought wrong. And the bet was $500. I would either have to pay him $500, or if I won, which of course I was going to win, he would have to do something that would be determined later, but I told him it would be fair. And here we are in the studio. Raj Dhesi, all 245 pounds, 6'5", 245. He's about to lay it into this man. I mean, Raj, do your thing, bro.
You ready, bro? Can you say yes so I'm not liable?
Oh, you signed the waiver.
He signed a waiver? All right, all right.
Oh my God. Raj, is your hand okay?
I'm good. Is it? You're tough. Good?
Well, Eric, how'd that feel? Speaking to the mic.
Easy.
Easy. Okay, we'll have to play his reaction back quite a few times. It didn't look easy. It definitely didn't.
Bro, he's tough.
Yeah, it didn't sound easy.
No, I didn't hold back.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, Raj, get comfortable. Rick, just get us back to where we need to be. What's up, bro? Yeah, we need his microphone in front of him for starters, but I guess he has that. I got three of
There
my
we go.
team in here. Raj is manning his own mic. Hey, everything good with the watch? What are you wearing?
Yeah,
today?
yeah. Watch is good, brother. We got the Rolex Sky Dweller, rose gold, chocolate dial, oyster flex. This is actually my 40th birthday present to myself.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, that's definitely, yeah, you and I kind of have a thing with watches. We like to make purchases that commemorate a period of time that required sacrifice and us accomplishing some type of goal or life milestone.
Yeah, I've actually bought several watches throughout the years, as you know. You have too, but really the ones now that I've kept in my collection are ones that are meaningful to me, and in the future I will buy to commemorate special moments in my life.
It's important, man, especially when you're someone who's very driven, you're always chasing the next thing. Being able to have not just wearable art, but wearable confidence. I feel like a power up when I put on a watch, and not just any watch, just to your point, when you get a watch that's, tied to some type of goal, you're wearing the watch. It's not that you're trying to gain confidence by impressing other strangers, but every time you look down, you're just reminded of a period of time where you committed, you did the work, you made the necessary sacrifices, and at the end of it all, you accomplished what you sought out to do, and that just makes you feel even more confident. It gives you a higher aura, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And in wrestling, there aren't any championship rings. So this, the biscuit, this is our championship ring.
There's
right
no
here.
championship rings, but there are championship titles.
There are titles,
But
titles and gold Rolexes.
yeah, yeah, no, you nailed it though, and that's something I often think about in entrepreneurship. You don't have trophies, right? In the military, you get medals. Athletes get rings and trophies. In entrepreneurship, you not only have to be your own biggest fan and you got to cheer for yourself, but yeah, you got to reward yourself too because the journey's tough and it goes by fucking quick, man.
Yeah,
It goes by quick.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, I know you got a bunch of watches. And by the way, you were the one who, I would have a lot more money if it not be for your influence.
Bro, me too. Me too. Me too. I've just always been into watches, bro, but I've made some good buys throughout the year and
Yes, you
made
have.
money and gained value in watches, and they've appreciated, especially the gold ones lately with the price of gold going up. It's a good, very good long-term investment. Short-term, not so much, but it's a generational item. It's
Yeah.
something that you want to pass on to your kids or your nieces and nephews, whoever. It's generational.
Yeah, the thought of if you buy a watch and you're like worried about what the market price is, like that's just the wrong mentality to have. It doesn't matter. It's priceless.
Yeah, totally.
Like you, when we started buying watches, you buy some that you maybe later you don't necessarily have the same taste, but like I don't intend on selling any of my watches. All the watches that I have, like I'm just going to continue to add to as opposed to replace because I love all of them and they're all significant to me, even though some get a little more play than others. It's just a strange thing that I think a lot of people that aren't necessarily yet in the position to afford a watch aren't able to comprehend. I think they see it as, an individual maybe trying to flaunt money or trying to attract status, but it's so much more than that, man. Like a man needs confidence. A man needs to be willing to take that uncertain step forward when conditions are not ideal. And anything that we can do to like feel more confident, I just think is a huge W and a net positive and something we all should be very conscious about doing. And you don't have to have a $50,000 watch or a $10,000 watch.
No, really, it can be any watch, and your watch says so much about you. I can tell a lot by a person just by the watch that they're wearing. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be a vintage Seiko or just something cool, a cool dial. It tells me something about them.
I agree. It tells you at a minimum that they take pride in the details. Because when you start to understand, that's the fascinating thing about watches. When you start to like look into how they're made and the time that it takes, and it's a very like intensive process. They put in a lot of time and effort into creating these singular timepieces that, I mean, the people who are making the watches that we wear, I mean, they have reached the pinnacle of their industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Movements are like art and just the engineering that goes behind it. And in a world today, which we don't need to, we have technology, we have digital everything. The need for analog anything is non-existent, but it's an art form.
Bro, this is so funny because as I'm saying this, I used to make fun of you and Saman for speaking the way that I'm speaking now. Like I just wanted a cool watch because I wanted the stat. Like I didn't get it at the beginning. And you guys would talk about the movement and the intricacy and all this like nerdy watch. It wasn't doing it for me. But here I am.
Yeah. When you get
I've
into
seen
it,
the light.
it goes deep. It goes very deep.
So we talk about the pinnacle of industry. Obviously, people who are making Rolexes, people who are making APs have reached the pinnacle of their industry. Not many people can say that. You actually can. You objectively reached the top of the mountain in your industry. You accomplished the highest honor that there is to accomplish, arguably, in that entire industry. And a lot of people know you as a wrestler, most people. But for the last 10 years, I've known you as a human being. And there's a lot more to that. And I want to just like have today's conversation just kind of be like our normal conversations to the best of my ability. But I wanted to talk about something that oddly, for whatever reason, I never really asked you about. And that was the time that you did on Big Sky, which was a huge show on ABC. I did some research and it said that about 7 million people, there was 7 million people that tuned in on average to every show. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a really big show. It was on ABC a couple years ago. I was on season 2, just randomly too. I got a message from one of my co-stars, Janina, who's also on the show, and she asked me. She said, "Hey, do you want to act?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "There's a role, and a very specific role, South Asian, Indian descent, but a bodyguard of a gangster family. There's not too many Indian actors around that could fill that role." So I auditioned. I was already auditioning at that point. Just didn't really land anything. It's a very competitive industry, especially when you're trying to break in. So got hooked up with that, got that role. Also through Janina, met my manager. Continues to get me auditions and got me that role. But the biggest challenge was getting WWE to approve it. So what I actually did was I went straight to Vince. Right when the opportunity came up, I was at television, either Raw or SmackDown, knocked on Vince's office door when he was done his meeting. And I just said, "Hey, Vince, there's this opportunity for me to act on the show." And at that time, it was actually just for one episode. They had only written one episode. They were writing week to week on that television show, also just like wrestling. And he just said yes. He said yes. And then that's when I went to talent relations and told him, "Hey, I already went to Vince," and he already said yes. But they were kind of like, no, we got to go through the channels. I said, "The boss already said yes."
Yeah. Smart.
So I ended up doing the entire season 9 more episodes, I believe, and they just kept writing me on until the end of the season when I died.
Bro, the thing that was really cool for me is you worked with 3 of my favorite actors at different times of my life. Jamie Lynn Sigler, Meadow Soprano.
Yeah, Meadow Soprano. Yeah. I got to do a few scenes with her. When you do scenes with these prolific actors, you realize like, wow, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
Just like in anything in life,
course.
like just the ease in which they're able to switch in and out of this character and memorize lines and deliver them. Because for each take that you see, for each scene, chances are they did like 10 takes, maybe even more, different angles, change the verbiage a little bit, the delivery a little bit. You got to be able to adjust very, very quickly. So yes, it was a huge honor working with her.
Yeah, it was. So, I mean, anybody, any millennial man especially, and I think that The Sopranos was watched by men and women alike, but that was like the show in the, what was that, the late 90s?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
And another icon of the early 2000s, Dana Gordon from Entourage, Constance Zimmer.
Yeah.
She was on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who watched Entourage, like she was the baddest chick in the entire. That was the one that like
everybody had a crush on.
We all wanted, yeah, for sure. So I thought that was cool as hell. And then Jensen Ackles, I didn't know anything about him until he popped up in a. Do you know the show The Boys?
Yeah.
He is my favorite out of all the characters. His character Soldier Boy is hilarious, man. Yeah. Did you get to? Again, I don't know how the production.
No, I didn't get to do any scenes with him.
No.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet him at all?
No, I didn't.
So that's like that's interesting, because when you see a TV show, I think from the public's perspective, you see a show, there's a bunch of characters on there, and I think they just assume that everybody's on set together, everybody knows everybody, but there was a entire season there, and you've never even got to meet him.
Yeah, exactly. You come and you film on whatever site you're at. There's so many different locations, and the way they map out the schedule, they'll shoot things out of sequence. Whenever they're at one location, they'll knock out all the scenes there and kind of move, and whatever crew is needed just comes in and out. I was actually traveling with WWE on the road whilst filming for their show. On my off days, I would go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, go and wrestle, come back to Albuquerque. It was busy few months.
Yeah. I mean, obviously for you to do what you have been doing your entire life, you've committed to wrestling. You would say you love it, yes?
Yes, yeah.
How would you kind of rate your passion, desire, like love, if that's the word you use, towards acting in this?
So what I love about wrestling is the performance aspect of it, the improv, playing this character. A huge rush comes from the live audience. Acting is very similar. It's performance-based. So you get a chance to express your art and express yourself the way you want to express yourself. The only thing that's missing is the live crowd, that excitement. So, and I also love to do things that I suck at. Not everything, but some things
Sure.
things that I'm passionate about. Like if I suck, it's not going to be a reason for me to quit.
And there's a payoff at the end.
Yes, exactly. I've been fortunate enough to, or unfortunate enough to come close to getting some pretty big roles. Recently, I auditioned for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Dude, look, just because I know you wouldn't say this. A couple of years ago when you told me, you were telling me about different auditions you were having, and you just casually threw it out there that, oh yeah, I just auditioned for Mortal Kombat 2, and then went into something like, whoa, Mortal Kombat 2 for who? Like Shao Kahn, who that movie just dropped recently, and it was a legitimate production movie. Like at that time, I mean, you're one of my best friends. We talk, I don't know, every week. We're talking multiple times a week. It was, I didn't have the awareness that you were auditioning for like legit high level Hollywood cinema.
Yeah. I've done a lot of big auditions. I just auditioned for Jumanji recently, Rock's new film. I think they just wrapped a little while ago, but I keep auditioning. Fingers crossed someday I'm going to get something big.
Well, bro, it's just like anything else, right? You keep showing up, and you do so without a loss of enthusiasm. Eventually it goes your way. Although I will also say that you have a lot of other things that you have been doing and focusing on. You hadn't yet decided to go all in on this. You're doing it in conjunction with other stuff. And I think if you ever did decide to go all in, just like everything else you've ever done, you'd get the results.
Yeah, definitely. I actually filmed a movie last year. It's going to come out,
See, I didn't know
in the
this,
next few
guys.
months.
This is
Yeah, Strong Son is coming out soon.
But let me just clarify. This is more so about the fact that I don't know is more so about him being so humble than me being a bad friend. That's really cool, man. Because years ago there was a little inside joke between you and I was, as you were like ascending and wrestling, I'm like, bro, like this is just the beginning. Like this now, like you have this launching pad to take your life in directions that maybe you never considered before. And I used to tell him, like, man, you could be the Indian Rock. I said that to him for years, and I still believe it to be true because in your culture, there's not a lot of them that look like you, man.
No, definitely there isn't. So that can also hold me back in a way too, because it's the character that I sometimes can only play is such a niche. But I think once I find that niche and then I also improve my skills and start to show range, like it's going to be good. I just need some time, and I haven't gone all in yet. I have so many things going on right now, but someday
you're narrowing it down.
I'm narrowing it down.
You're narrowing it down to make that determination on what. And the good part about like where you're at, like you've done. Again, I would never say this about myself. You would never say this about yourself, but you did all the right things to set yourself up to where you actually have the ability to taste these. First of all, you have the opportunity that's available to you because of the work that you've done, but you've set yourself up and put yourself in a great financial position where you can test the waters in these various lanes and kind of determine what that next big step is for you. And that's probably a good segue and a good question to ask. Like ultimately, if you had it, your way, what do you want to do ultimately?
I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Like some of my role models are Shaq, Mike Tyson, or C-Bum, Chris Bumstead, just business and acting and personal brand and inspiring others and media.
Bro,
I want to be in media. I love media.
Even when you were a drunk and partying all the time, drinking, by the way, really fun drunk, like definitely top 3 funnest drunks ever. Like you always did have a good head on your shoulders. And did you go to university?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. I mean, that explains a lot, but not from a just collegiate education. Like you've always had a more evolved mind, at least from my own perspective. I know sometimes we don't think that about ourselves, but it's really interesting, like where you're at now, because you could do I mean, you could just continue to go all in on wrestling, but you've set yourself up in a very unique position where you have these other options. And, like with that said, with you not wrestling as much because it's just something you're not, that's a personal decision you have made. So you have time to do all this other shit. Like, how much has life changed, and what are the main things that you've noticed that have changed for better or for worse?
Yeah, definitely a lot changes because when you're with WWE or you're wrestling full time, you have more structure just day to day. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to train, I'm going to travel or do my drive or whatever I got to do, wrestle that night, or this time I'm going to recover. You don't have a job, it can go one of two ways. So you have to create structure within your own life and create little mini challenges so you're always working towards something, because the worst thing to do is not have anything to work on. That's when mental health issues come into play, just because you're used to always producing and always working on something. So from like traveling 200 days on the road per year to, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks a year, it's a big change. But I'm enjoying family life. I got married last year, enjoy time at home. My wife works from home, so we spend a lot of time with each other. And I've became really close to my family also. The majority of my time in WWE, really neglected spending time with my family, just because time off wasn't an option.
Yeah.
You could not ask for time off. So anytime there was family weddings or events or even Christmas, like day after Christmas on the 26th of December, we're wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There's live events. Christmas loop starts. So you miss Christmas, you miss birthdays. So I'm really catching up on things now, especially with my nephews, and my parents are getting older. So yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different, and trying to figure out what my next move is, who I am, what's my identity. These are all real things that I'm figuring out.
Well, your wedding was a trip.
Yeah.
What an experience that was for me. Like, again, when I learned that this ceremony was actually 3 days of ceremonies in their culture. Well, it was actually, so you're Punjabi. What is Priya again?
So I'm Sikh.
Sikh.
And she's Hindu.
Okay.
But I'm Punjabi, she's Gujarati, which are essentially languages or states, languages, cultures. But the religion is Hindu for Priya, and mine is Sikh.
And traditionally, these two genres of Indian don't inter.
So traditionally, not so much, but my generation, yes.
Yeah, right.
It's not a.
But the only reason I bring that up is because there was a ceremony for her
Yep.
Culture and a ceremony for yours. So it was 3 days. So like when you go to weddings in, here in the States, like, as a man, it's not necessarily something you look forward to. It's just something you do to support whomever's getting married. This is a thing that women enjoy mostly. So I'm thinking like 3 days of that, but it's my boy and it's going to be great, whatever. But man, it was nothing like I thought. It was so much fun. Definitely the coolest thing I can think of that I did last year. It was an experience. It wasn't a wedding. It was an experience. And like the way you guys did it, it was incredible. Just to kind of paint the picture for the people listening or watching. So you get there the first day, there in the evening, there's a party, like a legitimate party, like what you would expect to happen at the end of it all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, wow.
Welcome party.
You're right. Because then the next morning, like, you start early and you go about it. But like at every event, Raj and his wife, Priya, they would change outfits multiple times during the event. It was almost like something you'd see like on like the Oscars, the hosts of the Oscars. But the way it all went, it was just, I don't know, it just kind of like added to the whole presentation because everything, all the little details. And then when the actual ceremony started, you could just feel just a very rich sense of tradition. And it was just a very cool experience for somebody like me. Obviously, I've never been part of that. By the way, represented in traditional attire.
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah. I'm glad you had fun. that was the vision of my wife's. Of course, I supported it and I had fun too, but she wanted it to be an experience. And I wanted it to be an experience too for all our guests, especially ones that traveled from different countries, different states, different provinces. It was in Canada, by the way, in Calgary, in my hometown. And so you mentioned that, you go to weddings just to support, or it's something that women enjoy.
Yeah.
So I was the same way until I got married. Now I love going to weddings because I know how special it is. Like for me personally, I had way more fun and enjoyed it and felt the connection and closeness with my family and friends way more than I ever expected. It was a special experience.
Very
It's
cool.
worth it. Yeah.
And a lot of the weddings, well, that was the other thing. I used to kind of give him shit because he was like always going, literally, you were always going to weddings like every few weeks, it was like a seasonal thing. And I would just give him shit because of my perspective on it. But then of course, that all changed when I went to you. I'm like, oh, I get it now. I get why
Yeah,
you go to
they're
these
fun,
things
bro.
so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. You want to go. Yeah.
It was a blast. Everybody was so cool. Everybody was like went out of their way to show their appreciation for, us dressing in the traditional attire, which we were all actually really excited about. I went to great lengths to put that together, getting stuff custom made. I mean, like my boy only gets married once. And if I'm not going to disrespect the culture by showing up and, looking sloppy.
No, you look good, bro.
Thank you,
Yeah. You're more dressed up than I was.
Yeah,
You know what LARPing means? LARPing?
No.
You were LARPing. Look it up later.
Anyway,
it was LARPing at my wedding.
It was definitely a good time. I enjoyed it. One of the things I wanted to before we move on, the fact that now, you kind of have a little more downtime, shall we call it. I think the benefit of that is sometimes when you're removed from the chaos of your normal routine, or you're forced to slow down, or you're forced to be bored. I think those times are actually really important. Most people never get that, by the way. They never get that. It's constant stimulation, constant
stress,
chasing dopamine, constant stress. Even though it can feel unnerving because it's unnatural and it's not what you're used to. I think when you have that space, you are able to make room for better in your mind, and things come to you that you wouldn't necessarily be able to experience at the level of consciousness where you're just in the thick of things, constantly getting after it. And you've had a lot of not only great ideas, but a lot of things that you've come up with and then executed on that really demonstrate that. Because I gave you shit for many years to take social media seriously. And we'd go through little periods of time where you 8 days strong and then you fall off. Yeah. But now you're killing it, man. Now, I'm going to you, asking you for little tips and tricks. So how has that transition been? Because, dude, I've always said it's work. It is fucking work. That's the part that people don't understand. It's work for people who are, if you're actually out here building a business, you're actually out here doing shit. If your full-time, job isn't to create content for social media, even though it looks fun, it can be a bit stressful.
Very stressful, and it is a lot of work to wake up every day and plan what video I'm gonna make, then shoot it, and then get it edited, and then watch it, and then think is this good? Does this suck? I've just learned to just put it out. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just put it out. Not every video is going to be a home run. It's all good as long as they're educational, or they're funny, or they're inspiring.
Giving value.
Giving value, exactly. Or just hitting a transition with your wife. Those are all good, but I try to enjoy it too. Luckily, my wife is very supportive, and she has ideas, and I get her to film me anytime. And I've started studying content, and it was a huge mistake that I made when I was in WWE. I didn't use that opportunity to work on my own personal brand. All the equity that I built was essentially for WWE and this intellectual property that they owned. So now I want to build my own IP. I am my own IP. I am my own business, and I can really cash flow in any which way with this business. There's so many avenues, but I'm not even right now, I'm not even worried about that. I just want to put out content and give as much value as possible. And I know the future is going to be bright if I just do that.
Yeah. I mean, the present is bright, but I agree. And the other cool part about your content and what you're doing on social now is it gets to show people a bit of your real personality. Yeah. One of the things that I have noticed consistently throughout the years when I would introduce you to somebody that you'd never met before, or we would just meet people. People are often like surprised that your demeanor is what it is. It's almost like they expect you to be like full heel, the Jinder Mahal, like that character that they saw on TV for many years. And I guess because there's such a like massive contrast between.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of avoided showing my true self on social media, just because it was such a contrast from my wrestling character. Like, I was under the impression that I'll get punished or something if I'm myself on social media. Or you know what it was? Like in the locker room, that the mood was different. The atmosphere was different. You would feel judged.
Yeah.
If you're yourself on social media, you wouldn't want to look like quote unquote a mark, or like the veteran wrestlers would make fun of you.
That's just life though, right?
Yeah. And also times have changed now. Yeah. Gen Z wants something else. They want the real view on something, your actual outlook. They don't want the fluff. They want the nitty gritty. They want the details. They're all about that. So in order to stay relevant now and in the future, I have to tap into social media. And I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I just assume people know my personality just because I was always on TV, but that wasn't me. And now that I'm getting to show this side of myself, a lot of doors are opening. I started recently on Sirius XM every Thursday at 2 p.m. I go on, and I want to do more of that analyst work, what it's like behind the scenes, because I have such a unique perspective from being WWE champion to all the way to even wrestling in front of 10 people on an independent show. I've done it all in wrestling. So for me to give back in a way that I don't have to take bumps, it's huge for me.
I still don't foresee you giving up taking bumps though forever.
No, I'm not giving up on it, but I have a limited amount left and I want to use them wisely.
Yeah.
I've heard, I'm stealing that from someone, I don't know who, but I recently read that the number of bumps that I have are very limited, and I only want to use those in places that I want to. I feel like I'm giving back.
You want to invest them, not spend them.
Exactly. Or we're in a location where the crowd really appreciates it, in some other country. Like, I love wrestling in India because those fans are so appreciative.
If you could wrestle, have a match in the biggest arena or biggest stadium in India with one person, it didn't have to be an Indian wrestler, it could be any wrestler that is still actively wrestling in some capacity, who would it be?
Roman Reigns, biggest star in India. I would say The Rock, but he's not really active. It wouldn't be The Rock.
You said Roman Reigns, the biggest star in India.
Yeah. Current, yeah.
Is he just the biggest star, period?
Yeah, he's the biggest star in the world.
He's the biggest star,
period. Yeah.
He's killing it.
His character is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really started, I mean, look, he was always, I mean, he'd been multi-time world champion, but when his trajectory really ascended to like, where he's at now, which is being more of a celebrity than known as just a wrestler.
Yeah, crossover.
Is that what it's called?
Crossover, yeah.
Yeah. That happened when he got lean, when he took his shirt off, got his teeth done, and he just came back with a different aura and a different energy about Confidence, exactly.
Confidence, yeah.
That's exactly what it is, man. And we were talking about the watches earlier, all these like little things. And I don't know if there was a takeaway from this before we move on, is if there's something about yourself that you do not like and you have the capability to fix it, whether it is your teeth because your teeth are fucked up, your hair. I mean, if you're a girl, get your tits done. If you're a girl and you're not happy with your tits, the fact that you can like pay somebody to give you perfect tits, like I'm a little jealous, quite frankly. If there's anything that is making you a little less secure, anything that, maybe it's just completely eroding your confidence and you have the capability of fixing it, make the investment. It will be the best investment that you've ever made. And like, that's coming from somebody who's gotten their teeth done. I got the hair and my shit was receding and I didn't necessarily need it at the time. I knew I would ultimately, and I got it. And like, I don't regret any of this. The only thing I maybe regret is like not doing it sooner, especially with my teeth.
Definitely the highest ROI you'll get in anything is investing in yourself.
Yeah. We're not saying bypass the gym. Obviously, this advice is largely factoring in the fact that you're already doing all these, basic things. And, that said, you were touching on like losing structure and losing your normal routine is probably the better way to say it. Both of us are very I mean, we're very bullish and intentional about structure and systems, and with a lot of things, whether we're talking about investing, whether we're talking about our fitness and longevity. Let's talk a little bit about fitness and longevity. So Connor's fighting Max Holloway.
Yep.
That's this Saturday, yeah?
It's soon, yeah, sure.
It's soon. I think it's this Saturday.
Okay.
We're recording this on the July 7th. Did you see Connor was working with Grover?
I did. Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, that is evidence that he's actually taking it very seriously at a minimum.
I think Connor always takes it seriously. Look, he's not one of the most successful fighters for no reason.
Yeah.
He obviously works very hard, but is he past his prime is the question.
Well, I think when I say taking it seriously, I say that based off things that he has said when he was getting ready for a training camp. And like when he was training for Khabib, he said he would have a fight, go get blackout drunk, and then not show up for a few days, which is just crazy. Or, not taking the training as seriously because he feels these are things that he said. I'm a huge Conor fan. Does he have a chance in this fight? What do you think? Okay, listen, let me bypass.
He has a chance.
Everybody has a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
We've established this.
Yeah, he has a chance. The thing is, Max is a little bit older also, but he's so durable and he stays active. We haven't seen McGregor fight in a couple of years. I'm going to give it to Max Holloway just because he stays active.
Yeah, Connor's bigger. Max is so scrappy. Obviously, the fact that Conor beat him before holds no significance.
No, none.
Max is a
different fighter now.
Completely.
And so is
a
Conor.
different human. Yeah.
And so is Conor.
Yeah. I think regardless, I don't know that he'll ever get the respect that he deserves to be in the position that he's in and even be willing to do this. With Max, who is a killer, who's been banging people out. Conor hasn't done this in 5 years. Because he has the star power, he could have very easily, okay, this is the part people don't think about. He could have very easily made a deal with the UFC, cherry-picked an opponent that someone that they would have fed to him he could have done that. And
so with that, Conor makes a percentage of the views or the buys. I guess maybe now it's not on a pay-per-view system, but there is still...
Yeah, there's financial upside to him fighting.
So you
at a higher
want
level.
to pick an opponent that will draw. Max is a draw.
Completely. So my perspective on it is the fact that Conor has so many different outlets that he's getting paid from, different companies.
Yeah. Online gambling now
he does real estate over
Sure.
there. Man. He's highly diversified, but he also has, a lot of products. So if he was to choose to go against somebody who wasn't, a top 10 guy, make a lesser payday, but that marketing and that hype, look, a win really helps him. A loss doesn't really hurt him. You know what I mean? It's just like the two different ways to, I guess, achieve the same outcome.
Do you think if he loses, he retires?
I really hope that he does, because I hate when fighters that were absolutely amazing over the span of a longer period of time go out on their face. And it happens so much in the UFC because the younger or the newer generation of fans, they don't have that perspective of who this individual once was. And I personally just think it's very respectable that this guy already has like virtually unlimited money. When you reach a certain point of wealth, it just doesn't matter anymore. You can buy whatever you want, however you want, and it just doesn't matter. Especially when he's invested, which we know of. He's not Floyd Mayweather.
That's what I was about to say,
keeps
bro. Are
all
you
his
sure?
cash. Well, I know he has
Yeah.
all of. I mean, he's a very diversified investor.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, I was saying are you sure about he can just blow unlimited money? We've seen that with Mayweather. I mean, it's risky, but as long as you're
I don't know if Mayweather's investing. I don't think he ever had that.
I mean, he
same
claimed
acumen.
he was
Yeah.
like, I own the skyscrapers and whatnot, but who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, I think that's was cool to see. I remember when he came back and fought Cerrone, he had Tony Robbins in his corner.
Oh, okay. So same thing with that Donald Cerrone fight. Cerrone wasn't a big star at that time, but I watched it unfold in front of me, but they made him look so good through these packages.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
was
gonna
on the
be-
decline. So Cerrone was.
With all due respect,
Of course.
yeah, yeah.
Dude,
I mean, he was very durable, but he was like a blue collar fighter, like he was a journeyman, right?
Does he not have I think he has the most head kick KOs in UFC history.
He might, bro. He has a
Dude,
crazy,
he was so fun to watch, man.
Yeah, I watched him and Gaethje in Vancouver live. Gaethje beat him that night.
Yeah, he was like one of those fighters that like it didn't matter really what his record was. Everybody wanted to see him fight because he was very intentional and is very intentional about fighting the way like fans want to see, like Justin Gaethje, like Max.
Exactly.
Like the casual fan wants to see two fighters literally get in the center of the ring and just swing at each other till one person falls. Like Chris Lieben and Vanderlei Silva did that. It lasted like 12 seconds.
Yeah. Holloway and
he does that all the time at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah. Gaethje got knocked out like a second left.
So crazy, man. Crazy game. Yeah. But when we're talking about fitness and longevity tools, what are the ones that you're most excited about, the ones that you use most consistently, the ones that you feel offer the most utility?
Yeah, so I love the Newbie. You've been introduced to the Newbie, the New Fit Newbie. It's basically a stim device, but it doesn't use alternating current. It uses direct current, the same electrical impulse, essentially, I'm probably butchering this, that your nervous system sends. So when you have an injury, there's a blockage and muscles atrophy, muscles shut off. This overrides that and reactivates those muscles, and then you train under it, and it builds a neurological connection back between the mind and the muscle. It's a great rehab tool.
Yeah, so basically it teaches your body how to manage and operate with whatever ailment without the pain. It's like neurologically training your body how to be okay with some type of damage that most people perceive as just lifelong because they've dealt with it for so long.
Yeah, exactly. Sauna, love the sauna. Cold plunging, we have it at our house.
Yeah.
We got them together actually too. I love Normatec, the compression therapy, PEMF. I have a whole.
Are you on you're doing the PMF now?
On and off. I cycle on and off.
Listen, that is like the easiest thing. Why would you be cycling on and off? Where do you have it?
In my room, recovery room.
So the way that I have been able to keep up with so many things so consistently is not because I'm special. It's because I set it all up to make it as easy as possible. Like when I moved into the new house, I invested in a red light bed. And when I learned about the PEMF, I didn't really know the details and nuances, but I developed this like awareness that if I see something that people that I know and respect and trust and have put me on to good shit in the past before, if they're doing it, I should probably be doing it. I just need to take action. And after I make the investment, I'll learn about it as I go. And I got the PEMF mat and I just laid it down. So as I'm doing red light, which was already built in, I'm also now doing PEMF. So like no extra time, no extra effort. And I think that's like the importance of having these different systems and modalities at the house is it makes doing them routinely effortless.
Yeah, that's stacking modalities.
That's right.
Yeah.
The sauna, if there could only be, I kind of just gave my answer, but if there could only be one modality that you could do for the rest of your life or you would recommend to other people do, if there was only one thing, what would it be?
It has to be sauna.
It has to be sauna, right?
It has to be sauna, yeah.
So interestingly about that, this is not an opinion. This is based off all the data and all the research. Do you know who Brian Johnson is?
Yeah, of course.
You know who he is?
Yeah.
So this is a guy who spent millions and millions and millions of dollars like on all these modalities, all these different like things, very unusual lifestyle, kind of a weird looking guy. And I noticed this and I feel really bad about it because, he's spending a fucking fortune, more money than, most 10 people will make in a lifetime trying to keep himself young. And he's always flexing about his perfect sleep. And, he has the sexual function of a 22-year-old. I think he's like I think he's in his late 40s. But like when I'm looking at him, and again, I never did a deep dive on this guy. He just always looked kind of pale and just not really exuding optimization. And one of the things I'd heard shortly after I started to learn about him is he like stays out of the sun. He like really goes out of his way to avoid the sun, which I don't agree with, in the slightest. If it's, trying to keep your skin young, I guess that is something. But as far as all the other benefits of the sun, long story short, I just read somewhere that he has an incurable autoimmune disease. And not only that, he's a vegan, which I did not know.
I didn't know that either. Wow. Okay. So he basically gets data from his blood work, and that's what he,
Of course,
bases everything off. Now, blood work alone is great. It tells a lot, but it doesn't tell the whole picture. So he's very empirical, but at the same time, he's a marketing machine.
Yeah.
He has some wellness supplements, some longevity supplements.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. So he's at the same time, he's building probably $1 billion business in the future. He's going to have a big exit.
Did you know he was a vegan?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but
Is it something that he switched to recently?
No. But the one thing that he does, again, I learned about this at the same time I learned that he has an incurable autoimmune disease that, as per his words, is eating his stomach alive.
Okay.
So he's a vegan, but he would apparently use collagen peptides, which are not vegan.
Yeah.
In his routine, thinking that would offset whatever. But like, look, I hate that happened for him. And I'm sure with his resources, he's going to be able to find a way to like turn this into a character building opportunity. He'll have a great story. But man, like, fuck being a vegan. Like if you're a vegan, you just need to do one thing. You need to be very meticulous and intentional. You need to spend a lot of your life's energy making sure you're getting all the nutrients that you are not getting by bypassing animal protein. That's what the problem is. It's not veganism in and of itself. It's the lack of nutrients people will take in when they don't know what the hell they're doing and they just try to not eat meat.
Yeah, or a lot of processed unhealthy food is packaged as being healthy or vegan. If you hear something is vegan, you for some reason automatically assume it's healthier, just like gluten-free.
Yeah, why is that?
It's marketing, bro.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
It's marketing.
It's really the conditioning, right? It's the human conditioning because it's market there. This is actually a very smart business model that's multi-tiered. They market these unhealthy foods. So the marketing markets the big food, and then big food provides you sustenance that you consume that inevitably big pharma is able to cash in on based on the fact that you have to take blood pressure, cholesterol, heart murmur meds, and so on and so forth. But yeah, they do. This is, look, at its core, what I'm trying, people just need to be more aware. When it comes to what you put in your body, at a minimum, you should be a little more picky and choosy and just look at the label, put it in a chat GPT, ask it, hey, should this be going in my body? Be brutally honest. Technology has made it a lot easier to get these answers. Obviously, if people are really poor and they can only buy this trash, that's a completely different scenario than the average unaware, fat, overweight American that is just blindly filling up their shopping cart with the, honey buns and the cupcakes.
Definitely. And you go visit different countries and you see the difference in food quality. Different governments of different countries have strict guidelines as to what the citizens can eat, what these food companies can put in their food and advertise, and certain ingredients and dyes and colors. But here in America, it's a free for all, I feel like.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's many of the things that are like very available and all over the place on the shelves and in the stores. Yeah, they contain ingredients that are legitimately illegal in most other countries.
Yeah. I'm from Canada, and the difference between Canadian food and American food is it's quite a difference.
Yeah,
they're very noticeable. Even in like eggs, really anything, fruits.
Well, people will hear you say that and think, well, it's easy for this guy to say. He doesn't know. He's always been in shape, whatever. I would like to dispel that rumor, because that was not necessarily the case circa, what was it, 2016?
Yeah, 15, 16, right before I came back to WWE.
So the reason I even bring this part up is if you can like bring yourself back, can you remember the difference between how you felt, your energy levels, your frequency, your overall just attitude towards life when you were eating, because you used to eat McDonald's, yeah?
Yeah, McDonald's, pizza, drink beer all day. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So but then you cleaned it up and you
Yeah.
did it abruptly. Like you literally just when you committed and you got on the program and like you were like really freaking dialed in and then you started getting results, which makes it a lot easier to stay dialed in. But can you just talk about like the difference between how you felt and the person you showed up as when you were eating the standard American diet and the pizza and the junk, and then when you started to prioritize protein and whole foods and nutrient density?
The difference was immediate, and that's actually what kept me on this journey. Like that's why I achieved the results that I did because I felt so good. I just wanted more. I had no reason to start eating crap again, and your mentality shifts when your body changes, your confidence changes. So my life changed. WWE hired me back. And then they didn't also hire me back to become WWE champion. They just bought me just to fill roster space. I was already TV ready, and they were separating the rosters between Raw and SmackDown, so they needed a few more wrestlers. They hired me, Kurt Hawkins, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Mickey James, maybe a few others, just to come fill space and be a body. But the transformation continued. Vince saw the hard work that I was putting in and how I had completely reinvented myself, and all of a sudden became marketable.
Yep.
WWE is a business. If Vince sees money in someone, and that money isn't just the physique, the money is the mentality, it's the mindset. I can trust this person. This person is motivated.
Yeah.
These are the things that really changed my life, and even to this day, like the trajectory of my life is completely different had I not made those changes.
I witnessed it. I remember when we met, you were at the tail end of making that, yeah, making that switch and flipping the switch. And when you got back, when you got called back to WWE, you still weren't in good shape to our standards.
Yeah.
But what he was doing is he had committed. And at that point, I mean, maybe you were just 2 months in, consistent meal prep. You were reading, which you hadn't done historically. You had just started to put yourself in situations that would help you take the next step forward. You were very intentional about wanting to better yourself. And I think the universe recognized that. You get called back to WWE, but what ended up happening over that 6 months was you made a physical transformation that ultimately changed a lot of other areas of your life. But the physical transformation that took place on TV over a 6-month timeline, you went from just looking like a bigger guy with a big gut to you look like the pinnacle of like a male gladiator if they had anabolics back in the day. Your body, you look like a world champion.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
mean,
I don't know if that matters anymore, but
well, at the time it did.
yeah, at the time it did.
Because Raj, there was no logical reason. This one came out of nowhere. The way the whole thing went down, there was no. It was just an abrupt, like you won a match that wasn't even promoted to get in a position to, and then all of a sudden you're world champion. But it made sense to me in retrospect because you got to a place where your physicality was undeniable, but also with that, the upstream and downstream effects that come with that is you're just a different person. You look at life differently. You work harder. You have more energy, and when you have more energy, you can do more shit. And that was just such a cool period of time because that absolutely set the tone for everything that's happened since.
100%. And right place, right time, being ready. It was Rusev that was supposed to wrestle Randy at Backlash. Randy was the champion, and I think Randy was going to retain the title against Rusev anyway. But I became #1 contender, but I still wasn't going to win the championship. Vince changed his mind a couple days before Backlash. I remember being in Europe for 2 weeks right before Backlash. We do the semi-annual 2-week Europe tour. I worked Randy Orton every night and AJ Styles in a triple threat. And Randy told me that he texted Vince during those 2 weeks and said, "I've never seen someone this motivated ever." I was carrying around Tupperware containers with like steaks and salmon, just plain meat.
I need to jump in here. I want to tell, what was the WrestleMania where you had the Battle Royal with Gronk? Which it was in Orlando.
33.
Okay,
Orlando.
WrestleMania 33. I want to set the setting for people watching and listening. It was WrestleMania weekend. We were at the pool. Okay. It started just you and I was drinking. At that point, you had given up drinking.
Yep.
Okay. And eventually we just brought the party. We just attracted like, some other wrestlers, some of the girls that were hanging there. And all of a sudden there's like a legit party. And some of these people that were part of this were people that had to work, either later that day or like tomorrow, but they're drinking, they're having a good time. And I remember at some point, I'm probably like 7 or 8 shots deep. Great vibes. I look over and there's Raj, like sitting on the ledge of the pool, eating out of the meal prep container. And I just think to myself, what a loser. No, I'm just kidding. It was a Nutrition Solutions meals. Obviously I was proud, but I'll never forget because I'm just like, I'm looking at everybody else and then looking at him. And it was just like a cool moment to like, wow, this is the trajectory that you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the price I had to pay to reach that goal, right? Like that goal from 3MB version of me or being released from WWE version of me was so far away that it was going to take something drastic. Like it wasn't just going to take a mediocre effort. If I was going to do it and I wanted to become a world champion, just like I've been saying I want to do since I was a child, since I seen Bret Hart, my hero, growing up with a WWE championship, that was going to be the price that I had to pay.
Yeah. And that was a big night with the Battle Royal. That was a big moment for you. Obviously, that went super viral everywhere because of the moment with Gronk. And, I was just there, like just celebrating life. And obviously, because my boy got that spot, like I thought I was very persuasive. I was like, man, we need to go out. Like I had everything lined up. And dude, you dug in and you were like, there was no way. And I was actually quite surprised. I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like we have a lot. It's like, I got to get up early to train. You didn't even know, but like, because if they need me for Raw on Monday, which of course they did end up needing you, I want to be ready. And I'm just like, holy shit. I was like, well, I'm going to get up. I'm going to try to get up tomorrow and train with you if that's the case. I made it, but it was just seeing that you changed in such a great way, like so fucking quickly. And I think the takeaway for the people listening is just how possible change actually is when you get fed up and you're actually willing to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah, absolutely. And delaying that celebration also, when I became WWE champion, no celebration, no party. It was like, we went out for dinner and I ate like fish and rice. And then the next day I had to wrestle, defend the title for the first time, I think. But same thing, wake up, travel, train, eat clean, recover. And then we just year round did it again. So there was no celebration. There was no party really ever.
I remember we did after you won the U.S. title in New Orleans, because we went out there, me and a couple guys went out there to support him. You felt obligated that you had to go out. And do you remember? I was like, hey man, I want to go to Bourbon Street. We're in New Orleans. I had been to Bourbon Street once when I was in the military, and he's like, bro, I think there's gonna be a lot of people out there, and it's probably not the best idea. And I'm like, I've already been drinking for however long. I'm like, no, it's gonna be great, and don't worry about it, it's fine. And he already knew, but he knew that there was, like, we were trying to commemorate the occasion, and we certainly did, but it was crazy because right when we got to Bourbon Street, I mean, I wish we would have filmed it. You were swarmed from every angle by the fans, but it was, as your boy, like, it was actually really cool to see, because you just won the U.S. title. We're now on Bourbon Street, and now it's like, wow, like, yeah, these people actually give a shit, man. Like you got them invested.
Yeah, definitely. Those 70, 80,000 people from WrestleMania came right to Bourbon Street, and we were with them celebrating. But actually for that one, that was the first time I did like a bodybuilder prep with Terry Placker.
I remember.
You hooked me up with Terry, and I followed the protocol, and I did a peak week and everything, and that was really challenging.
Miserable in the days leading up. You look great.
Can't think, and I have media, but looked great at the event, won the U.S. title. And then we had the cheat meal after. Yeah. That one I celebrated with some food, definitely.
Yeah, you ate like, I think like a truck full of sushi. You didn't eat any shit.
Big carb up.
Yeah. Speaking of, we probably shouldn't talk about this because normies will get the wrong idea. But obviously, people that are, of normal intelligence can read between the lines and understand that 95% of the time, like we're on it with our training, with our diet, etc. But something I know about us personally is that we got a little soft spot we got a little bit of sweet tooth. Sometimes we like to get down. What is like if you could only have one cheat meal, if you were like having your last cheat meal ever, what would it be?
Let's go with, and it changes from day to day, but today I'm feeling like apple pie and ice cream.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
vanilla
a
ice cream.
rare one. Ice cream definitely always has to be in the equation.
Yeah. That way you get two desserts in one.
Actually, as we're
and the
talking
ice
about food, they just okay. So we're rolling out a new meal at Nutrition Solutions this week,
Yeah.
and
I got to
it's
try
the
it.
first time. Well, I have to try it actually because for the last few weeks, there's a lot of hype behind this one. This was one that we did like a little contest, and our clients decided it's an elk taco, the sweet heat elk taco.
Oh yeah.
And we're getting ready to launch it to the general public, man. Like, I just got to make sure, because this isn't one that we've done as many times, so we've made some last minute tweaks. Hey, you can bring it in.
Yeah, bring it out.
Yeah,
I'm
like
hungry.
because I'm sure they want to go home. Would you mind trying it?
I don't mind, please.
Thank you, William.
Thank you.
You can just slide it here, and Rick can slide it down.
I got a package meal for you too.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, maybe it'll list the ingredients.
That was good.
Yeah, so sometimes you get resistance to elk, even though elk is factually the number one most nutrient dense protein, meaning out of all proteins, it is going to provide the most optimization, health, and wellness benefits. But because people have never tried it, they're resistant, or maybe they categorize it with, red meat. A lot of people think red meat is bad.
Yeah.
So to lower resistance towards trying something they've never tried, I strategically pair, I like, look, let's do this in a way where like we have an elk and mac and cheese. Everybody loves mac and cheese, so they're more likely to try the elk because we pair it with mac and cheese. And once they try it, they love it.
Oh yeah, I love that meal.
So the taco concept was like, oh, everybody loves tacos. So they're going to be willing to try it, and hopefully they enjoy it because, so this is grass-fed ground elk, Napa cabbage, coconut aminos, craisins, whole wheat tortillas, and chipotle barbecue sauce. Give it a...
Is this leaner than, say, beef, generally speaking?
Always leaner than beef. Usually, depending on like if we're talking the leanest part of an elk to the leanest part of a chicken, which is typically the breast, elk has more protein on an ounce for ounce basis. Is it more lean? It depends. It all depends. But if there is a fluctuation, it is very, very small.
Got it.
Because even chicken breast has fat.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just not a lot.
Yeah. And things don't need to be fat free. Like you need fat up to a certain degree, certain portion of your calories.
Whole foods.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not saying don't eat chicken. Like I eat chicken multiple times a day. I'm saying diversification is extremely important when it comes to nutrition. The more diversification you have with proteins and veggies and things like that, the more nutrients that you consume. The more nutrients you consume, the more benefits you experience. What do you think, man?
It's good.
Yeah.
What is this sauce? A barbecue sauce?
Excuse me, coconut aminos and chipotle barbecue sauce.
Good. Yeah, I like it.
All right. Let's message them. Yeah, I think it's ready, man.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, ready to unveil to our clients. Yeah, this one definitely didn't disappoint. Let me grab a craisin before we move on. All right. Last, listen, when you and I are hanging out, like we're pretty much usually only talking about a few things, right? Watches, investing, goals, fitness. So we might revert back to fitness at any point. But I was wondering, okay, home gym essentials. Let's say that someone was going to buy some fitness equipment, okay? Not a home gym. Let's say there's limited space, there's limited budget. But as I think we both agree, if you are serious about fitness, you need to have something in your home.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I don't know a single individual that is operating at a high level of fitness that doesn't have a home gym or some type of equipment. Now, him and I have home gyms, we have really nice home gyms. But even before we had a home gym, we always had something. We always had dumbbells. We always had bands. We always had something. And the reason, guys, is life is crazy. Life is hectic. You're not always going to have time. But when you have the stuff in the house, you can at least do something.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be the perfect workout. Just do what you can with whatever equipment you have, but you still need a little bit of equipment. And you don't have to spend a ton of money. A lot of this stuff is affordable, and you can even get it used on Facebook Marketplace or anywhere. It's easily accessible.
I'm just going to tell the story really quick. 2020, obviously the world changed. One of the things that people may or may not remember is you couldn't get, one of the things many people may not remember is you couldn't get any equipment anywhere, literally anywhere. Well, all the stores were theoretically shut down, but online, Amazon, Rogue, literally even everybody was sold out.
Toilet paper and gym equipment.
Yeah.
People were hoarding.
Yeah, well, at least, I mean, they were fighting in the aisles of the grocery store over the toilet paper. I would have loved to see that same level of passion and enthusiasm towards the fitness equipment. Nonetheless, you and I, we're in a position where, like, I had some equipment at Nutrition Solutions, but I didn't want to strip my Nutrition Solutions equipment so the team couldn't still get it in, because all gyms were shut during this period. And like, me and you got resourceful. You couldn't get equipment from any of the normal retailers. But what we did is we found a wholesaler, a fitness wholesaler that I don't know that I knew that this place existed before this scenario. We very much went into problem solving mode, and we pulled up. I don't even think that they were supposed to be open. I remember they were only letting like 2 of us in at a time. You remember all that?
Yeah, a couple people in at a time. Yep.
But man, what an amazing find that was. We go in, 3 warehouses of all of this fitness equipment. All of it was used as well.
Yeah.
So there was, it was like an adult's version of a toy store, but especially during that time when we really needed it. And we popped up the gym. And I think it's just important to be resourceful. In that situation, we started thinking outside of the box, and we found not only a viable solution, but an amazing solution, because we bought a lot of shit on the low.
Yeah, definitely. I bought a full dumbbell set, 5 pounds to 100 pounds, cable crossover. And this was all commercial gym equipment. This company would buy gym equipment from gyms that were closing down and then piece them out. So we got commercial goods, commercial gym equipment, but...
And it changed the game is my point.
Yes, it did. And I acted quick even before gyms shut down. Like the day before is when I got everything from that store. Like I sensed they were going to close.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we got better go buy some stuff.
So look, if you want to operate at a high level of fitness, like you got to think in terms of lowering resistance and making things easy. And if you have equipment at the house, and it's funny because we haven't gave our specific examples. I'm going to give my top 6. You can give your top 6. I know what people are thinking. They're thinking a Stairmaster. They're thinking a bench press. They're thinking like bulky ass equipment that's going to take up a shit ton of space that they do not have. That's going to be crazy expensive. Like the things that I'm going to recommend are not only what I would recommend, but this is what I used to maintain before I had the space for like a proper gym. But you got to think in terms of making things easier on yourself, or in terms of like, if you want to really like step things up and you want to operate at a high level of fitness, like, there's nothing that says that you can't get in 2 sessions a day. You can't go to a proper gym session and then do a 12-minute workout. I mean, my workout today, I swam this morning for 15 minutes, but this afternoon, my workout was 17 minutes. And I literally did a metabolic conditioning workout where there was 7 exercises. Each exercise I did for a certain number of repetitions. And I just rotated. There was no rest. So 17 minutes of work. You can train like that at home with minimal equipment. And it's amazing training for your cardio, for your mindset. You're actively meditating, because when you operate like that, there ain't no time to check the phone. There's no time to think about whatever stress might be going on. It's a very useful way to train at a high level very efficiently. My workout today, what the hell did I do? Body weight squats, push-ups, flutter kicks. I did kettlebell swings, ball slams, and wall balls. And I just did a certain number of repetitions for 17 minutes. My top 6 for anybody who's just wanting to take fitness more serious, whether it's supplementing what you're doing now, having a backup for, when life gets violent and you don't have the time, when it's at your house, there's no excuse. You'll always have the time because you could just sleep less. My top 6 would be a set of kettlebells, preferably a set. You could get away with one. You'd be better off with a set. 26 pounds. Okay, that's going to give you the most versatility. A slam ball, but not just any slam ball. The D-ball slam balls, which I have. And the reason for that is the D-ball slam balls, they bounce back up. So you can actually also use it as a wall ball. There's other things that you can use it for as opposed to the slam balls that just fall and sink to the ground.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's rubber. You can slam it. You won't destroy it.
Exactly. A jump rope. Listen, I know what most people are thinking. They're like, fuck that. It's like the only reason you're thinking like that is because you probably can't get more than 3 before you fuck up. But take it from someone who, like, that was me in like 2018. And I'm just like you. It's like, okay, I want to get better at this and I have to be willing to suck at it. So if I know I'm going to do it, like, I might as well just enjoy sucking at it. And I started like posting little clips of me jump roping, looking just horrible, looking like a fucking amateur, which my body didn't look, my body very much looked like I should be able to jump rope a lot better than, now I can jump rope great. And I think the point of that is once I started to become proficient at it, I started to actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
and going through that period where you suck, a lot of people suck at something and then they quit.
Yeah. It builds character for other areas that have higher stakes for sure. Definitely. So far, 26-pound kettlebells, a D-ball slam ball, 15 to 25 pounds, depending on, your current strength level, a jump rope, a large mat, not a yoga mat, guys, a larger mat that you can use for yoga if you feel so inclined to, but also that you can just have enough space to do basically any body weight exercise that you can think of. Tube resistance bands with handles. You can get an entire set of the resistance bands that have the handles that you can simulate basically any exercise with for $20 on Amazon. I looked at that. That's not to say you should get the cheapest one. I'm just trying to remove the, I can't afford it excuse from anybody who might, that might be floating through their conscious mind.
So along with the tube, I prefer the ones that are a circle. They're great for squats.
Circle. Oh, the regular, yeah.
Just a band that's connected to circle. You can do standing military press.
You can actually put handles on the thinner ones.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about an ab wheel?
Well, so the one thing, this is my 6th one.
Sure.
And I left this at the end. And it has an asterisk because although it would benefit you to have a set of dumbbells.
Yeah.
Okay. 15 to 20 pounds. Again, I'm going to recommend the minimum. You can always get more. 15 to 20 pounds, ton of versatility. And especially when you're training in the way that I just described, like the metabolic conditioning, more like not high intensity interval training, but just training with the higher intensity, you're not lifting the same weight as you do when you're lifting and then resting for a minute and a half. And so you're using much less weight because you're burning through a lot less or a lot more oxygen. And the reason this has an asterisk is because theoretically you can replicate basically any exercise that you can do with dumbbells, with the resistance bands, with the handles. The thing is, when people are hearing this now, this is going to be the resistance point. I already know. Most people don't know how to swing a kettlebell. They only know of kettlebells for that one movement, right? Most people probably never slammed a ball, never used resistance bands in a way where like, oh, how do I train like that? Like when I go to Mexico, I bring some equipment with me. The resistance bands with the tubes are amongst that. And I have some of the best workouts, the sickest pumps. I'm doing it on the beach. So I'm grounded, sunlight, just veins popping, getting a great tan. And if you understand how to, or what movement to do, it makes it very easy to have a good workout. And like YouTube has never made it easier, bro, to like literally like you'd search like 7 kettlebell exercises. You're going to see things that you're like, oh shit, I didn't even think. You can do so many things with the kettlebell, from swinging to presses to bent over rows to deadlifts. I could go on, I'm not going to, but that's my list. 26-pound kettlebells, a D-ball slam ball, 15 to 25 pounds in weight, jump rope, a large mat, a set of resistance bands with handles, and then the optional is the dumbbells, 15 to 20 pounds. That is my 6. What are you going with?
I need 15-pound dumbbells and 50-pound dumbbells.
So that's 2.
That's 2. Okay, that's 2. Let's go with that 26 kilo kettlebell set. Can I get a set as one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's get a pull-up bar, chin-up bar of some sort.
Good call. Good
Chin-up
fucking
bar. Let's go. We need a piece of cardio equipment. If it's jump rope, is jump rope. But if you can stretch it a little bit and get a stationary bike is good. And
There's no right or wrong
you
answer
can get them fairly cheap.
Bro, you can steal them on the marketplace, bro.
$100.
100%. And then let me just take that a step further. That's the best form of high intensity interval cardio that there is. Nothing comes close. You're talking about the
Yeah, ideally an Airdyne bike or even just a spin bike. That's a great form of cardio too. Let's go for my last.
Okay, let me recap here. So we have 2 set of dumbbells.
Yep.
What is the weight?
15 and 50.
15 and 50. And the reason for that is so you can diversify the movements and have a higher resistance.
Exactly.
So, and I agree, having that's like the perfect range to be able to hit a lot more options. The second one was
Kettlebell set.
set of kettlebells. So that's 3. The fourth one was a
Chin-up or pull-up
chin
bar.
up bar. Yep.
Pull-up bar.
The bike or Airdyne bike.
Yeah.
One or the other. And then, dude, this is a lot of pressure here. It's one more piece of fitness equipment. What's it going to be?
Ab wheel.
Man, that's an interesting choice. It's a good choice. I just don't know that it'd be in my top 6. But I do have you said a pull-up bar.
Yeah.
And because I'm thinking most people can't do pull-ups.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is why you need the pull-up bar. And also, if you take my recommendation and invest in the bands, you are now able to do assisted pull-ups,
Yeah.
which will help you build the strength to be able to do regular pull-ups.
I forgot bands. I needed bands in there too.
Dude, it's stressful. 6 is like
I'll borrow yours.
So the cool part about what we just said is there's no right or wrong answer. You can get one thing and get in the game. The main thing is the competency. I think people, like literally, we could drop all of this equipment off at 10 different people's homes, and they wouldn't really know like how to do it or to do it in the way that's going to get the max benefit, which is why you have to be resourceful and you got to use the tools that are available free. By the way, YouTube, literally, you can search anything like how to do, you fill in the blank. There's going to be many videos on there that show you how to do a lot of that thing, whether it be kettlebells, whether it be like with a slam ball. There's probably 15 different exercises somebody could do with the slam ball besides just picking it up and slamming it.
Yeah, totally. And also intensity is super important too, because you want to challenge yourself in order to grow. And you can do that through shorter rest breaks, higher reps, playing around with tempo and supersets, and drop sets are great too. There's so many different modalities within working out, within exercising you can use to intensify your workouts.
Yeah, because it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Exactly.
Right? And I completely agree. That is 50% of the equation of what people miss, assuming like their nutrition is okay. Okay, let's just talk about from the exercise output side. There's a lot of people that go to the gym often, consistently, have been for a long time, but they're not progressing. And the reason they're not progressing is they're not training with intensity and they're not training with intention. When I say intention in this context, I mean the reality is most people just go and they do the same routine over and over and over again that they've been doing, that they've kind of maxed out at, right? For every new level, it requires a new level of output, a new level of execution, a new level of sacrifice. And the good part about this home gym setup is a lot of this stuff is the stuff that really moves the needle. And also people would be a little less inclined to put themselves through at the gym in the public setting in front of everybody. That beginning process where you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Totally. And that needle only moves if you get uncomfortable.
That's right.
With dieting too, you can't eat everything you crave, and just like working out, you have to work out when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. You got to do a lot of things that you don't feel like and just normalize that, right? That's just
exactly. But that's the best part of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
But you have to go, the issue is, and the resistance comes into play when you haven't done it, when you've always quit, when it got difficult or inconvenient, and when something else came up and now you require more energy. So like the things that are not as ingrained are the first to fall off. You have to go through a period where you have this perspective because you've experienced all the benefits that come from it. Because it ain't about just looking better naked in the six pack. That's a very, that's a definitely in the top 5. But it's just the mindset that you cultivate and the structure and the understanding that like with fitness to get the results, you have to work hard, you have to be disciplined, and you have to do those 2 things consistently. And that's the very same process applies to virtually any other goal in life that you're looking to seek out and conquer. If you're at the beginning, if you work hard, if you are disciplined, which part of discipline means making sacrifices, and you do that consistently, there's no way that doesn't eventually.
Yeah, eventually. It might take a while,
Yeah.
but it's going to take, assume it's going to take a while.
Assume it's going to take a while. Understand that that window, though, can be drastically sped up when you do it with intention and do it smart. Like the reason you were able to change your body so drastically, and that is a short period of time. That 6 months, it wasn't even 6 months you started looking ridiculous. It's probably like 4 months where you were like ridiculous, like completely different breed. But you did so many things right all at once. You went from 0 to 60, but everything was in place. Your the diet, you were eating every fucking 3 hours. And like, so then you had the energy to train harder. And then you started you started to feel a little more energy. You started deploying that. And it just, when you get that association, it makes it very easy to stay motivated.
Yeah, everything in my life was just clicking. Like it was just on an incline, and it really still is.
I talk about this, I feel like endlessly and repetitively, but I just want everybody to experience that because you're right. It's not just about getting in good shape. It's about how the rest of life just looks different. Your standards completely change. The world, the way you look at the world changes. The way the world looks at you certainly changes. And it's just a beautiful thing because we should all strive to be the best version of ourselves. And the best version of ourselves isn't 30 or 40 or even 20 pounds overweight, lethargic, on, a bunch of medication and eating the standard American diet every day to sustain one's existence. That's probably the opposite of what we should be doing. But we're going to move right along here, man, because we're going to talk about wrestling stuff. I was thinking that 10 years, we've known each other and we've been boys. There are times where we talk about it as part of like something that's happening, but as a lifelong fan, it's actually kind of shocking how little I've asked you like fanboy questions. And it's certainly not because I like don't want to look a certain, like I think it's very exciting for me as someone who loved wrestling growing up to, be able to have like so many people that do that, like, in my life and in my circle. Like, I think that's very fucking cool still to this day. And I've, always supported you. I will continue to, but I'm gonna like just revert into fan mode, or what do they call it? The Mark mode. Maybe they don't call it Mark mode, but Mark. So I'm going to go full on Mark here, and I want to ask some questions. I'm just going to rattle them off. And
let's do it, bro.
I want you to tell me about a time where the chemistry was a little off, the timing was a little off, something was a little off, and somebody hit you really hard or dropped you really hard in a way that isn't the way it should be done, and then a time that you did that to somebody. And feel free to use as many examples.
Yeah. So do you remember El Torito, the little bull with the matadors?
Yeah.
So one time I had a singles match with him. It might have been in England somewhere, actually. And he gave me a moonsault off the top rope. I'm standing too. I'm supposed to just catch him on my shoulder. But his knee hit my nose, broke my nose. Middle of the match. It was a dark match. It wasn't televised or anything. So that's the time.
So you got physically manhandled. How tall was he? About 4'3"?
Probably under 4 feet.
Under 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah. But not only did he beat me.
Oh, he won the match as well.
Oh yeah, he beat Heath Slater. Not only did he beat Heath Slater, he beat Drew McIntyre.
At the same time?
Separate nights.
Oh, okay.
3 separate matches. He beat us all.
Way to throw the other boys under the bus.
My nose. The first time I ever wrestled outside of Calgary. It was in Winnipeg, which is a 12-hour car ride. I'm in grade 12 at the time, and I'm wrestling this supposed legend wrestler from Canada. Not really, but
They built him up as such.
he thought he was.
Okay.
No one built him up to be anything. He was wrestling in front of the same, I don't know, 100 people. That,
Man, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either.
But yeah, so I'm on the apron. It's a handicap match. Me and my partner versus him, 2-on-1. I'm on the apron. I haven't been tagged in at all. And as he's circling, he elbows me like as hard as he can. Puts my tooth right through my lip. My first time wrestling outside of Calgary. First time wrestling
No shit.
on the road. Haven't even been in the match.
He had to solidify his legend
Yeah,
status.
he had to. Yeah. But
We'll
curious to
leave
see
him
what-
nameless, or
his name is Evil Eddie Watts. Evil Eddie Watts. If anybody knows where Evil
put
Eddie
it on you,
Watts
didn't he?
is nowadays, please give me an update. I'm sure he's doing fantastic. In
yeah,
his
he's
life.
somewhere
He's a-
telling this story right now. From his perspective.
Yeah. But I wonder if he knows it was me or if he remembers.
Oh, come on. There you go, being modest again.
Maybe.
All right. What about a time that you caused somebody maybe a little like legitimate bodily harm because something was off, the timing was
Yeah. I just recently told a story about giving Finn Balor a concussion on my Instagram, so I'm going to tell a different one. When I was in FCW, there was a wrestler named Bobby Dutch, and I believe his tag partner was Xavier Woods. This is when I was in developmental, and I was doing something off of the ropes, and I gave him a forearm, and I busted his nose.
Did
Busted his
it
nose.
break?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, usually it's if a nose is busted, it's broke.
Yeah. I've given concussions. I've been concussed.
What give the quick rundown with Finn real quick.
Okay, so me and him were wrestling on the live events, and he would do this spot every night where he would hit the rope, and I would catch him with a forearm, and just mistiming one night, he came off the rope, and I felt it right when it happened. It was a hard hit. It connected hard. He actually, and this is on Monday Night Raw. You can even dig this up on YouTube. He got knocked out, and as he fell down, his head, his face basically face planted and kind of woke him up. And now we know so much more about concussions, but at that time I felt so terrible.
What happened? Like, I mean, he's unconscious.
Yeah, we
Woke
just
up.
finished the match. He woke up, and I think we went home right away. We were supposed to go home right away anyway. It was the next move was going to be the finish. He pinned me or something really quick, but
What's the conversation like in the back after something like that happens?
so obviously Vince was really upset. He came and sat me down. And he said, "I should fire you."
Oh wow.
Yeah. Everything could have came to an end that night just off of mistiming, misjudgment. With Finn, you feel terrible. Like it sucks when you injure someone and they have to miss time off, and especially concussion-related injuries. It's tough, man. And I feel bad when wrestlers injure other wrestlers, and when I see it, I do make it a point to send them a message too, because nobody thinks about that. The wrestler who causes the injury, what kind of stress does that cause them? Like,
Oh, it's ended careers, man. Big E, drop Big E.
Big E, man. But the thing is, this is just the crazy business we're in.
100%.
Accidents happen.
Yeah. Nobody's out there trying to do that.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. It's not my intention to ever hurt anybody. In fact, like my biggest goal is I go home happy to my family, and my opponent goes happy to their family, and we do it again next time, and we both make money, and we continue to do so.
Yeah, this is a part of the business that, a casual fan would never like consider, because everybody knows that it's entertainment, but the physicality is, I mean, the stories that you just shared, obviously you've had the struggles with your knee. So many people have had, career-ending injuries because of things that happen in the ring. But yeah, you're right. Like somebody who inflicts that on someone else, I couldn't even imagine like that changes your life, and not in the way that you would want it to.
Yeah, another injury that happened recently, not recently now, but one of my last matches was against Seth Rollins. It might have been my last match ever on Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. He goes to give me a moonsault, and his knees hit me like really hard. Like I remember them hitting me and like it was like the wind got knocked out of me, and I hear him. He's like, my knee, and I kind of I felt his knee buckle, like it was right here on my stomach. He's like, my knee. I was like, oh shoot. He's like, I'm like, are you okay? He's like, just give me a second. And the ref's asking, are you okay? Because if he's not okay, it's a world title match.
Right. Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a problem. But he was a tough dude. He shook it off. We modified the finish a little bit, and I think I went for the class. He rolled me out, hit me with a stomp, 1, 2, 3. We ended it right away, and then he ended up missing a couple months, which was a stressful situation because it was right before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Also, that one, I feel like it wasn't my fault, but you still do feel like it was your fault for some reason. Like you were in there.
Yeah, there's something you could have done or done differently. Completely.
Or something that we did earlier in the match kind of caused it. Or there's so many factors that plays, but same with that one. Felt terrible. You almost missed WrestleMania.
Well, so from a physicality standpoint, who in the ring, whether it's for a match, whether I know you've done some very violent or appeared to be violent backstage segments, or brawls. Who was the individuals that brought the physicality the most, where you knew it was going to hurt, you expected it was going to hurt, and it did hurt, during the time, after the fact, somebody that you knew going into it, it's going to be a painful experience?
All of the backstages are very painful because there's no crowd, there's no adrenaline, and the camera is so close, and you have
lay it in.
Yeah, you have to lay it in, and you'll get thrown into props, which are essentially like metal boxes, or there'll be chairs or something laying around that you got to spill into. The floor is concrete, so they always hurt. But the worst is when the shot gets messed up and you got to redo it. Retake. I've done.
Did you have to do that?
Yeah, a couple times, bro.
With the backstage segments?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, not when sometimes they're live, but sometimes they're pre-taped.
Got it.
When it's pre-taped, you got to do it again. At the very end, you're like, God. But live, there's a certain element of nervousness when and they're counting you down 10, 9, 8, and you're like, all right, we gotta fight, we gotta bring this. So I've had a tough one with Roman, maybe one or two with Roman that really stick out, that come to mind.
I mean, if you guys are hitting each other in the face, there's no, you can pull it to the best of your ability, but content in a backstage, you guys aren't going through the wrestling punch sequence.
No.
You have to legitimately.
Yeah, I try to go for the head, maybe.
So, do you guys, is that just an understanding going into it that both of you have? Is there a discussion around that at all?
No, it's just an understanding. Hey, lay it in, or sometimes the producer will tell you, hey guys, we need physicality today.
But it goes without saying.
It goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What's your coolest moment in the ring? If you had to narrow it down to one, and it can span, I don't want you to think recent, the first thing that sticks out in your mind, the coolest moment ever in the ring. You've had so many.
Promo with The Rock.
Yeah.
Growing up watching The Rock, and then I really felt like I delivered the best promo of my life that night too. I was on that night too.
Yeah, and this is another example of things that really big things, big moments for you that I didn't know about until it happened, which makes it to be able to to see that. There's the entertainment aspect, and then there's the personal aspect. I'm proud of my boy. That was the beginning of a year. So I'm this is the perfect time to happen. And yeah, that did demonstrate a side of you that I think maybe, I knew, but a lot of people didn't know that you had that in you, because you were the energy between the two of you guys. You guys were on the same frequency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was on that night, and so was I, and the crowd was incredible. I grew up watching The Rock, idolizing The Rock.
So how important is that? Where I was going with this, when you're around other people that are, at the top of their game, or other people that are killing it in life, whether it's, with The Rock or just, out in your personal life, do you notice that you are more inclined to step your game up organically when you're around and surrounded by other people who are pushing for greatness, who are already achieved that status?
Yeah, it's a different energy. they inspire you. Like the greats, they'll bring you up too. Like that's what makes them magical. Not only can they perform at such a high level, they can bring the best out of someone, and that's what Rock really did. Someone like Rock, but when it's a name like that, you have a certain energy. You put a certain pressure on yourself. Like I got to rise to the occasion.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the pressure you put on yourself that makes you perform better than you normally perform.
Was the process getting ready for, because he's not around all the time. He pops in for at various points strategically for whatever the reasoning is.
Yep.
Was the process of getting ready for something like that, like how much notice did you have? Was there any type of like rehearsal or discussion? How was the process of working with someone like him who kind of probably moves a little bit differently than everyone else compared to what it usually looks like?
Yeah, so Rock was a surprise. He wasn't at the building that day. I found out a couple of days prior that I was going to do a promo with The Rock, but I had no direction or anything. Flew to San Diego on Sunday night. Monday is Raw. Monday morning I wake up and I have a text from Brian Gewirtz, Rock's writer. And he sends me this promo, which was essentially the promo that I delivered. I put it in my own words a little bit. I made some tweaks. And like an anti-American promo hasn't been done in a really long time in WWE. So I was like, are we going to be able to do this? And then I remembered who it is, who sent me this. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing it. At that point, I didn't start memorizing the script or anything, or really putting into my own words, because I wanted to talk to Brian and see what his vision is and make a few tweaks. I had a few different ideas. And again, I had to ask him, like, are you sure we can go this direction? So when I got to, I had to see The Rock at his hotel. In the afternoon, I went to WWE Raw. Then I got a text like, "Hey, we're posted up at the hotel now. Rock is really busy, so he comes in and out." He came a couple hours before the show. It was maybe a couple hours, 3-4 hours before Raw. He's at a hotel. Car service takes me to Rock's hotel. Rock has the promo memorized. He has the promo memorized, and he's like, "All right, let's go through it." And I'm like, "No, I still got to talk to Brian."
So he thought you were showing up ready to go.
To a certain degree, but I just told him, I'm like, "Hey, I read it off from the paper."
Right.
I'm like, I will be off paper. Trust me, 100%. I just want to talk to Brian, just a few tweaks. I want to make a few pitches.
Yeah.
Before, so I don't have to re-memorize it. Right. So he was super cool, and he said his lines, and I read off the piece of paper, and we went through the physicality. I'll shoot you off. I think he hit me with a spine buster and a people's elbow. But as we were doing this in the living room, like we're going through it. I'm wearing a gold Rolex. He's grabbing it. I'm wearing a suit. Like, Rock is always jacked up. Like it's a bit of a situation.
So did you get a people's elbow in the Rock's hotel room floor?
No. We just like practiced the little whip off or whatever.
Got it.
We just
got
talked.
it.
Yeah. We just talked. So then I go back to the arena. Then I'm like, okay, I got to get this promo down in my head. And then I locked myself in a room.
How stressful was that? Because that's not your ordinary process.
It's very stressful, but WWE is always a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Like you just get used to functioning on this on this level where you're on live TV with The Rock.
Organized chaos.
With a couple hours notice, and you're doing a 15-minute dialogue back and forth. Like it sounds crazy, but in the world of WWE, it's almost expected of you. Like you can't be like, "Oh, I don't think I can do it." Like, it's not an option. This is what you're doing. And okay, yes, I'm going to do it. That's it.
How much do you think, I should have asked this earlier, how much do you think your experience in wrestling helped you kind of be able to just step on set in a major TV show like Big Sky and just fit in effortlessly?
A lot. And I actually told this to Stephanie McMahon. Somehow Stephanie knew that I did the show, and I saw her randomly. She wouldn't come to WWE that often at that time. I think we were in New York or Brooklyn or something, and I seen her, and then she brought up Big Sky, and I told her, I'm like, WWE really prepared me a lot for this role. It's very similar, and also just being able to take direction, being able to adjust on the fly. The other actors, sometimes they want to do some improvisation on a scene or two. You just kind of go along with it. It's fun. It's a collaboration. And at the end of the day, it's also a performance. So WWE really did prepare me for that quite a bit. They are very different. WWE acting is very much over the top, and you got to project. When you're in the arena, there's people, sitting in the nosebleeds, and the arenas are quite big, so you have to project. But on television, you can't project because then it just looks like fake acting. What I learned from acting is there is no such thing as acting. You have to become and genuinely feel it. That's acting. Whereas in wrestling, like
Sorry about that.
we're in wrestling, we do act. We show these emotions that we're not actually feeling, but acting on television or movie is different. You have to feel it.
No doubt. So let's get into finance a little bit, specifically about wrestling. This is a thing that a lot of people, for some reason online, like want to know. People like to Google prominent figures, net worth online.
Sure.
And you believe they, can see, in your bank account. How accurate when people are Googling celebrities, net worth or salaries, how accurate has that been from your perspective?
Not accurate at all.
It's completely off.
It's completely off. It's just someone's hypothesis.
Yeah.
That's all it is someone's opinion. Especially with WWE, salaries or contracts are not public information. So whatever you see is just pure speculation.
So what advice do you have for somebody who's in your industry, who's in a promotion where they have the opportunity that's their job. They're not working another job. They're not working independence, trying to come up. Somebody who's in a prominent organization, regardless of, where they're at on the card, to set themselves up for financial freedom later in life. Regardless if you're just starting out, regardless if you've been in it a while, making a ton of money, but not doing anything with it. Like, how would you guide people who are in a position now where they have this platform? All of them are paid well, various ends of the spectrum, but there's nobody there who's making the median salary of the average American.
Sure.
It's a higher level of income.
Yeah.
What are some tangible things people can do to set themselves up for financial freedom later in life?
So with wrestling, you mentioned, yes, the salary is higher than the average median income, but we have a short window. Wrestlers are very unique in the sense that you may make the majority of the money you're going to make in a short period of time, 5 years, 10 years, if you're lucky. And a lot of us don't come from money, and we're not taught proper financial education, how to budget, how much house can you afford, what are tax write-offs, forming an LLC, then filing as an S Corp. So get as educated as you can, or hire the right people. The right team is very, very important, but just know that this is likely a short window. But use this time to your advantage. Use this time to build your own personal brand. Use this as a launching pad to whatever you're going to do next. Leverage this. It's a game of leverage. And just be smart with your money. Invest from day one. As soon as you can start investing, invest, whatever that amount is, even a small amount. Get into the habit of
Which is when? When is the best time to start?
Immediately, today.
Yesterday was best.
Yeah,
Today is second best.
Second best, yeah. Even whatever it is, $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever it is, get started. Low cost index funds. Don't fall into the trap of getting rich quick or taking.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, we tried that back in 2018. I made a phone call. I was in a bit of a panic because there was an opportunity that I just learned about that a friend of mine, he'd cracked this nut, something called XRP. I'd never heard about it, but my buddy and two of his buddies, people I also knew, all just made a shit ton of money off XRP, this cryptocurrency that I had never heard of. So I call Raj and I say, hey, I'm investing. It was a substantial amount of money. It was I think like 300 grand. Okay. I had no knowledge of this utility. All I knew is somebody that I had trusted immensely who had always put me on to greatness because he's a lot more successful, a lot more evolved, a lot further down the road. So if you have those type of people in your life and you get good advice, like learn to act quickly because That's where the reward comes at the other end of the execution, and timing is everything. Timing, this was a very valuable lesson because although it did not work out for us, because this was back then, it was so fucking difficult. You had to provide a semen sample to be able to transfer your money to these people to be able to accept it, to invest. Do you remember how difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult.
That was unbelievable.
It was difficult.
And but remember, we kept saying like, look, man, yes, it's hard, but that's why most people will quit. So we were like just hyping each other up to continue to go through this shitty, elongated process that just seemed so unnecessarily complicated. And we both put in substantial amounts of money all at one time because we were we thought that like if we did that, that money would 4, 5, 10x quickly, like it just had for the people that I knew.
We FOMO bought.
Yes.
We did a FOMO buy, classic mistake.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this is a real thing. You hear about it, but like we actually experienced it at like, I mean, I don't know that there could have been a higher peak than when we rushed into this. And then the asset subsequently tanked, went from, I mean, I think the most I had some like in the high twos, but fortunately I had the wherewithal to continue to buy as it plummeted down. Either way, man, it was a net win because it got us into the crypto game, which both of us have made a shit ton of money off investing in crypto. But the way we
Bitcoin,
were able,
for me.
right. And that's important to clarify.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that I held on because I was just so stressed that I deleted the app and just didn't look at it for a few years legitimately. And I wasn't really looking at crypto at all. Two different strategies. You locked in, started learning about it. And then when I got back into Bitcoin was 2020, I had a bad association based off that XRP investment that still hadn't recovered anywhere close to it. But then I got back in, I listened, I started to learn from the historic trends. And then, you know, obviously we're both killing it and continue to. That's the whole thing. As it relates to cryptocurrency, you need to be investing in it. Like you just do, but you have to do it with the right frame of mind. You have to understand that if you don't know anything about it, which even if you do, like you only want to back winners. If you're investing in these meme coins and these little alt tokens, all you're doing at the end of the day is gambling. So understand that. We back winners. We invest predominantly in Bitcoin as it relates to crypto, and we do it strategically. We also understand that if we were, our situation is a little different. We've been in the game for, dude, it's been 10 years.
10
man.
years, yeah.
It's been almost 10 years. If you're just getting in, you have to do so. The most important thing isn't how much you put in. It's the fact that whatever you put in, you have to commit to not touching it for a minimum of 4 years. And the thing about the 4-year minimum is if you actually do that, you're not going to want to sell it at all because then you start to kind of understand the game. Depending on how much you're putting in. If you're just starting off and you're dollar cost averaging, buying a little bit every week, the best thing that you can do is set it up, dollar cost average, a certain amount every single week, and just forget about it. You're not investing your rent money. You're not investing your emergency fund money. You are investing monies that are going out to recruit its friends over the long period of time to set you up for financial freedom down the road. And the beautiful part is, unlike, you know, years ago, even a couple years ago, now they have the same systems in place like they do the market where you can borrow against it and leverage and things like that, to where if you actually ever need money, you can borrow against your own crypto at a low interest rate and not have to sell the crypto. Because if you sell the crypto at a profit, you get taxed. And that's not what you want. You want to keep it in the game for as long as possible, because the longer you keep it in, the higher that amount becomes, not because of the obvious fact you're putting in more, but because compound interest hits year after year after year after year. So the longer you keep it in, the easier and the lower amount of money you will have to invest to hit that big nut at the end of it all.
Yes, and having a long-term vision is key. If you're gonna look at the charts a couple times a day or every hour and it's gonna stress you out, don't do it. Don't do it.
We should learn to take our own advice.
But we do have long-term vision.
Completely. We do. And also it's a funny thing because when crypto is popping off and it's just peak bull and everything is amazing. It's quite like it's a very nice little experience. The 36 to 39 times a day you're checking your Coinbase
I
account.
made 70 grand
It's
today.
great. Yeah, I made in the last 2 hours. It's amazing. But you nailed it. I think a really important thing, and I listened, I heard this. Tony Robbins said this. I actually did it. I took it to a level that most people probably didn't. And I don't know if it was financial discipline or I was just traumatized from the experience with XRP. But when I started also investing, significantly in the market, I was just trained from the XRP experience to just not look at it. And I know that can be difficult, but it's not difficult if it's not money that you're relying on to pay your bills. Not looking at it can be a bit of a superpower as well, especially if you have that long-term goal.
Yeah.
If you have the long-term goal, there's no need to look at it.
And especially if it's a quality investment, a blue chip investment.
We only back winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Only back winners. And like if we're talking about the market, the best thing that anybody can do, I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. The best thing that anybody can do that doesn't know about investing, that doesn't know what to invest in is as Raj said, get in the S&P 500 or an index fund that follows the top 500 companies. It's low cost. They're short of the world ending. There's no risk over the long term. And they grow consistently at about a 10% annual return. So you won't get the biggest return ever, but it is the safest.
And it compounds.
And it compounds.
Yes,
exactly. And then the cool part about that is once you start getting skin in the game, then you start paying attention. Then you can start learning about other stocks and other companies that perhaps have more upside. But you got to get in the game. And the best time to start, as we said, was yesterday. The second best time is now. There's no excuse. You make enough money. If you don't do it where you're at, you'll never do it when you're making it's a habit you have to instill and automate it so you don't have to forget it, so you don't have to think about it. And then you don't know what to invest in. You don't need to be a Wall Street broker or stock analyst. You get in the S&P 500, safe, sustainable, consistent, no risk, provided you are in it for the long haul.
Yeah, buy it, don't sell it, always keep an emergency fund. Emergency fund is so expensive.
You've been talking about this a lot.
Bro, I talk about it from the perspective of wrestlers. Like our career can be cut at any time. And you go from making excellent money, like more money than anybody you know, to making virtually no money. It happens, right? And if you don't have that emergency fund, bills are due, your mortgage is due. When you have an emergency fund, you have options. You don't have to make desperate decisions. I see it all the time, people making desperate decisions just because they need the money, or selling things really cheap, or pawning things off because they need money. Emergency fund. Live off less than you make, have an emergency fund, and always invest. Don't touch those investments.
Yeah, what you said, though, doesn't just apply to wrestlers. It applies to anybody. I mean, obviously, mental health is a very big topic in pop culture. And, the reality of it is, I don't think there's anything that will destroy your mind and confidence faster than the 24/7 awareness of constantly knowing that you're one expected bill away from a full-blown crisis. So
it's stress.
It's complete. It's stress that is constantly just chipping away at your frequency and weighing you down. It's just heavy, and it's just not how you want to be moving through life. And the problem is so many people are living that way. And that's why you have to work hard and work hard at improving yourself, not just work hard at whatever. A lot of times people kind of delude themselves. I hate to say it, but it's true. I was one of those people. So you delude yourself into believing you're working harder than you actually are, because you're working hard a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of stress, but you're not getting the results. So that creates this illusion in your mind that you're putting in a lot more than you actually are, when the reality of it is you have to be working hard at the right things, which is your competence and your personal development and your awareness, which you develop through personal development and doing hard things. And before we segue into the final segment of this, what are 3 books that had the most positive, measurable impact on you from a personal development perspective?
10X Grant Cardone really changed my life and got me writing my goals down. Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
And Outliers.
I've never heard of that one.
Outliers. I forgot who wrote it, but
it doesn't matter. People can look it up.
Outliers, yeah.
10X, the 10X rule. I feel like is very underrated. I think that when people mention him now like it's an amazing book and
Yeah, just disregard.
Yeah, whatever you
he's
think
doing.
personally.
Yeah, in real estate or whatever his business tactics are, his marketing is. Ignore that. Just read the book.
like there's really nothing to add to that. That is one of those books where your life will be different after you read it, and it's also one of those books that you're going to want to go back and revisit and study certain chapters at different points of life because different lessons kind of hit different. You could be consuming the exact same information, but be at a higher level of awareness, and it's like you're reading a completely different subject matter.
Yeah. Also, Unshakable, Tony Robbins for investing, the basics of investing, compound interest. Great book.
And also, that's he the reason he made that is because he had another. He had another one on finance that was like a Bible, dude.
Yeah.
It was so fucking long and so complicated, and I think he got that feedback from people. So he basically condensed all of the information into a very digestible, very simple to understand book on investing. I agree. That would definitely be a top beginner investment tool. And that's the whole thing, man. You're not going to listen to people who are already doing it like us. Like you got to get more social proof till you get to that point where you've heard it enough times and you have that confidence enough to take that risk, to take that unfamiliar, uncertain step. Because when it comes to money, man, it can be terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's especially when you convolute investing and gambling.
Yeah.
You confuse the two, because to an average person, investing is investing in Micron or
Maybe it works, maybe it
Sandus or what were those other stocks? The GameStop. Like that's not investing. This is just gambling.
Yeah.
That's just speculating.
Yeah, it's so true. And also when, you see your bank account, you see money being taken away, like the transactions and debits, the association the brain has is, okay, that money's gone and it's spent and it's not coming back. So when you're investing, you're not spending money. You're changing the vehicle and again, putting it in a different place, a safe place where it's going to be able to go out and recruit more of its friends to bring home to you later.
Once you start seeing money make money for you, you think differently about spending money and wasting money. It's like, man,
you just think completely different about money in general and not look at it. It's a tool, it's a vehicle, and it can actually be used strategically just like anything else. And money is too important of a thing for people to be stressed out about their entire lives or to feel it's such an important part of one's quality of life, and we can pretend like it isn't. But we all know that it is. We all know that the thing people stress about more than anything else is money. Now, if we were in some other third world country where everybody's poor but super happy, this is a completely different thing. Like here, this is the way the shit works, man. And the reality of it is, like, if you didn't have financial stress, you would be a completely different person. Not because you'd have more money and better cars and cooler watches and more material things, but because you'd be stripped away of the stress that is constantly lowering your frequency and just chipping away at your soul. You'd be a better father, a better husband, a better human being, a better leader. You would just be a higher, more evolved, more grateful, just more positive, optimistic, healthier, certainly.
Yeah, FU money. You know about FU money?
What's that?
When you have FU money, no one can tell you to do something that you don't want to do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You say FU.
Yeah.
You want to be in that position where you have options. You don't have to work in a job that you don't love or do things that you don't want to do.
Or work till you're super old and tired and incapable.
Exactly,
and when he says FU money, that looks different for everybody. That figure is completely dependent on one's lifestyle. So, but what we do know is it's not paycheck to paycheck. What we do know is you have to develop a skill set and a level of competency that puts you in a position to be more valuable, to earn the money. And regardless of where you're at, the reality of it is, no matter how much, nobody's reaching a place of financial freedom based off income alone.
No, you have to invest.
You have to fucking invest.
You have to invest, yeah, or win the lottery.
Well,
and then even like a majority of lottery winners go broke too.
Overwhelming majority of yeah. But that's understandable because, I mean, I mean, we see a lot of situations with athletes, a lot of football players you hear about, they're in the league for a few years. They make a bunch of money, but they end up in like severe debt. Because if you're given a big nut and you've never had that, if you never managed it, you don't understand it. You don't understand about taxes and all this shit. You're just gonna.
If you can't manage $1,000, you can't manage $1 million. It's the same thing. It's
Boom.
Yeah.
So, bro, we're filming this, recording this episode. It's July 7th. Your birthday is coming up.
Yeah, July 19th, 2 weeks. Big
Wh-
4-0.
Yeah, you're headed not only
Paris.
into a different decade, but to a different part of the world.
Yeah, going to Paris, Belgium for Tomorrowland, and then going to Amsterdam.
And you're just going to see the world.
Vacation, bro. I get to do this now. I don't have a wrestling bag with me. No gear, no boots, no trunks, nothing.
Yeah, fun fact. I mean, you traveled the world, but very much didn't really get to see the world when you were traveling nonstop at WWE. You and I went on our first vacation together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, I was like 30-something years old.
So I was 36 or 37. So I'm a few years older than you. But yeah, I think that's like a lesson in and of itself. And I remember how stressed I was because I'd never done it before. And I was stressed just because I'm like, is the business going to be okay? Is my life going to be okay? Is everything that I've worked, 10 plus years for at that point going to fall apart? It is crazy because like, I guess I just got so used to not taking a vacation that it just didn't ever occur to me to do it. Or maybe I didn't think that I earned it internally because I got a late start. I started the business, I was 28. But I'll tell you what changed my mindset on it. I believe it was either be obsessed or be average, or it might have actually been the 10X rule, where he talked about, as an entrepreneur, as a high performance individual, you have to look at vacation as work. Because by removing yourself and also the time frame, he said staying a little, which is where I've kind of adopted that. That initial one was just a few days. We're just kind of putting our toe in,
Definitely.
right? But he said, you have to be willing, you have to get out of your normal environment. You have to go to a beautiful place and you have to do your best to just detach from the normal grind, because in that process, you're going to free up headspace that will allow your best shit to come to you.
Yeah, it'll inspire you. Yeah, exactly.
And it's true because, when your mind is constantly full and you're going through the normal routine, it's very difficult to kind of like look up and out and think of what that next move is. But every time, man, I travel somewhere, that's when I get some of my best insights and downloads effortlessly. I'm not even trying to, it just happens. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I've been loving traveling. I've been doing a lot lately with my wife now that I'm married and don't wrestle as much, and get to revisit all these places that I wrestled and actually enjoy them. Recently, we started going to concerts. I love watching performers perform. It's so inspiring for me just to see them in their element, and it makes me miss performing.
I mean, you're still performing.
Yeah. Just not at like the level
Nightly basis.
that I want to.
It's interesting because we hear about travel and like how important it is to travel. And it's like, I have known this and I have admittedly, I need to be doing a better job with it, because I think travel is important. I think what people think to themselves, or maybe this is just me projecting what I have historically thought, is like, oh, I'll do it, one day.
Yeah.
One day. And although you can do that, I think the best time to do it is when you have the most energy, when you are the most capable, and like you're able to enjoy certain experiences that maybe when you're in your mid to late 50s, you won't appreciate as much. Like you got to get out there and just like see like what's out there and recognize that sometimes like that vacation is actually like what you need to come up with that solution to that problem that you can't necessarily. It just gives you clarity. And I found that going to beautiful places, especially around nature, just puts me in a state where I'm able to have complete clarity on what the next thing is for me. And it's 100%. Very valuable, man.
It is. You come back working harder.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what it is. Yeah. But just make sure you're rewarding yourself after a period of hard work or achieving something.
And you and I, we've been on vacation many times together. We always train. We eat clean. We'll get some treats.
Yeah, we'll enjoy a little bit of balance.
Absolutely. We're training multiple times a day because why not? We have more time. We have more energy. I've never really understood the whole mentality of people that don't work out when they travel, or they go from eating decently to now they're traveling and it's just a free for all. I've never understood that. Even when, if I'm just like going out of town for something for a few days, like I want to go check out a cool gym in a city that I've never been at before. There's a ton of really badass gyms out there, and some of the best workouts I've had are in like new locations that I'd never been at before.
Yeah, 100%. New scenery.
And at that point, that's how you know, like it's actually part of who you are. I don't know. I just think it's the craziest thing where people are moved out of their normal environment. And even on vacation, like the mindset that most people have is, oh, I'm on vacation, so I'm not going to work out. My mindset is I'm on vacation. I'm most likely in a tropical place. So I want to be as fit as possible. I want to have as much energy as possible. I want to like have the best aura as possible, which only happens if I'm working out. I feel like that's where we all need to get to. And it's not a matter of going and killing yourself. It's just a matter of just looking at fitness, not as something that you have to do, but as something you get to do and something that makes every measurable area of the human experience better. I said that we were going to revert back to fitness a few times. Did I not? That's like basically 80% of what we talk about, whether it's mental fitness, physical fitness, financial fitness, stepping up our watch game.
Fitness.
Yeah, watch fitness. But bro, I want to say that I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I appreciate all the cool things that we've done together over the last decade, and there's been a lot. I am not like a very sentimental person where I sit back and reflect on this and that and the other thing, but I did do that before this because I wanted to I wanted to try to tell the story in a way that allows people to see you for who you really are in this new chapter of your life. And you're about to enter a new chapter. And I think birthdays are important, but not for the same reason that most people look at it for. Most people look at, oh, it's a day to get attention and for me to feel good about myself or whatever. It's like, that's completely fine. But I think what birthdays actually can do for somebody who's, dedicated to being the best version of themselves and like is looking to ascend and improve and just maximize the time that they have on this planet, the limited time, is it kind of gives you that opportunity. It's like, all right, this is my birthday. Let me think about like what's happened the last year. Let me think about where I was 1 year ago, where I am today. And as long as, you're taking the right action and being intentional about improving yourself, like that is worth celebrating. The last 10 years, bro, it's been quite a journey watching you from when we first met, that legendary night that we had out, the first like kind of formal discussion we had when you came into my office back at old HQ. You were a different person. Watching you kind of trying to find your footing, me trying to like help you, like, hey, this book helped me, like, but seeing you put so many different tools in motion and go from being unemployed and out of shape, alcoholic, quit drinking, got in amazing shape, became world champion, actor. I mean, you're doing so many things. Being at your wedding, that was another significant one for me where I'm like, man, this watching you, it's not the wedding in and of itself.
Sure.
Just it was like a milestone within your character evolution.
Sure.
And the coolest part for me is like, I've always believed in you and saw potential in you that was untapped, and you've consistently like hit that next gear just like I thought you would. And I know in my soul that like the best is truly yet to come. You are a lot more evolved than the overwhelming majority of people your age or any other. And I know also that you're not content with just staying the same. I know it bothers you right now that you don't know exactly what you want to go all in on. And I know that feeling is going to drive you to do what needs to be done to figure that out.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah.
And I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done for me, everything you've done for Nutrition Solutions. 10 years, this is not only you're going to be your 40th birthday, but this is like the 10th year that we've been boys. And I had a little something I wanted to gift you to commemorate not just your birthday, not just our 10-year, friendship, knowing each other time period, but more so to just commemorate this, like this next chapter, which I know will be the best. William,
Yeah, bro.
what do we got
The
there?
next 10 years.
What do we got there?
Oh, yes.
So listen, I spared no expense with this, and you deserve this, man. And
Wow,
yeah, go ahead and open it up. Obviously, we've talked about the
Oh, bro.
time that has gone by and the time that is still yet to come.
Bro, I know what box this is. I mean,
You can't even see it. You're that
bro, I'm nervous.
yeah. So for anybody who's just listening to this, he has in front of him. What is that in front of you?
The Crown Rolex.
Yeah.
Rolex.
Everybody knows the
Wow,
Crown.
bro. Wow.
So another thing is the first legitimate watch I purchased, which was a Rolex, was with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But this is just a little something to say,
Bro.
I see you, brother.
Come on.
Check it out.
Bro, this is wow. Oh, no way, bro. It's the one I wanted. Pink OP.
So that's the lavender.
Oh, it's a lavender.
That's
Oh,
the
even
lavender.
better. Even better.
That's the lavender. Yeah, the lighting in here. So I have the pink OP as well. Although that would have been the ultimate boss move, a true sign of
Wow,
masculinity to also
bro.
get you the pink one. I decided we ought to diversify.
Bro, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, man. You're
Wow, bro. It means so much to me. Bro, you've been a great friend for the last decade. Changed my life in so many ways. Been a great role model, a brother, someone that I can talk to about anything, bro. And
Right.
this means so much, bro. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
man.
bro. Yeah. The future is bright, bro.
We'll end it there. But you somehow, guys, follow him on Instagram, the Maharaja. How did you get that anyway? How did you get that handle? You actually are at the
I
Maharaja.
have the Maharaja. Yeah. I got my ways, bro.
You got your ways? Yeah, follow him on Instagram at the Maharaja. Watch Big Sky if you feel inclined. And yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, the best is yet to come.
Wow, the lavender baby, OP41. My wife has the same
Congrats,
watch.
brother.
Thank you, bro.
That's what we do.
Thank you.
That's what we do when we get new watches. But also, this is good because we have a group chat where we send and Walt's been dominating the data was Gunther. He's been dominating the group chat as of late with new acquisitions, but this gets us back in the game.
Bro, this means so much to me. It's incredible, bro. This is a token of our friendship, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And it means a lot to me to be in a position where I'm able to do it with somebody that I've come up with. So that's the
Yeah, bro.
significance.
It's
for
even
me.
more success.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate you listening, watching, and we'll see you soon.